This is Full Time. I am Max. Welcome. Got a lot of ground to cover today with some topics that you probably would expect me to discuss and some that you would not. Maybe some sides that I will take that you probably feel the other way about. But this is my program. I'm glad we're here together. I'm going to start with a pretty self-serving little topic. I've gotten into what appears to be a really bad habit of responding to or commenting on Instagram posts that are made by people with a good size following, like Adrian Wojnarowski, who does the NBA or SportsCenter ESPN accounts. So I did one for Zlatan. He scored a goal this weekend in Italy, his return to Italy. And I made a comment, and I go, oh, those Serie A defenses, making light of the fact that people make fun of Major League Soccer defenses, and that's why Zlatan made it his early goal. Obviously Serie A historically has the best defenders, so it was somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but, I got a lot of responses. But it wasn't all that, my tongue was not all in my cheek. You got to, regard goals the same way. If it's against MLS defenses, he's going to, he's scoring a goal. Maybe he gets 20 in the Serie A. So I did get one response to a post. And, I really should not be. Because, I realize these are kids. They don't know anything. When you start talking about sports, I've been doing this for a quarter of a century. I've watched a lot of and when I see these uppity kids telling me what about the sport, it's impossible to duplicate what people have experienced through the years. If you've covered a sport for 10 or 20 or 30 years, that counts because you've seen it firsthand where it sticks. You didn't read about it or saw it on a clip. So I get it. There's kids, and I can't really respond to it. And I gotta slow down. But one guy wrote to me after that post. He goes, "I've been watching EPL, Serie A, La Liga for 20 years, and I've never heard of you." Me. "I only know you as the guy who posts the most out of touch comments of football posts on Instagram." Well, thank you very much. And then at the end he said, "Pipe down, buddy," which was nice and warm. I don't know if we're buddies. I don't know if it was intended to be warm, but he called me buddy. All right, bud. 1999 was 20 years ago. You say you've been watching those leagues for 20 years. 1999, if I recall, the Premier League rights were on Fox Sports World. The Serie A rights were on Fox Sports World. The La Liga rights would be on Fox Sports World, I think, a couple of years later. The Bundesliga rights were on Fox Sports World. You know who worked at Fox Sports World in 1999 covering those games that you say you watched and listened to? I was the only one there. I broadcast all those games. This English Premier League, we did wraps, which means we came at the beginning, halftime, and through to announcers. I did call 2 games, which absolutely put people up in arms. They were sick. Anyway, I just want to say that. Kids, think before you type. I can type whatever. If you don't like my comments, don't respond. People get upset because I get a lot of comments because I'm verified. I don't have a huge Instagram following, but you have the blue check. People like your stuff. It is what it is. All right, let's stop talking about me. There was no La Liga this weekend. There was the Super Cup won by Real Madrid, controversially, after Fede Valverde committed this really bad foul, which turned to be a really smart foul because he gave a free kick. He got a red card. Later, Real Madrid winning penalties. I'm not going to talk about that Valverde. I'm going to talk about the other Valverde, who is the coach, Ernesto Valverde, who is the coach of Barcelona. So he's sitting here, and according to reports, first of all, Xavi, Barcelona legend, said that his dream job would be to coach Barcelona, as you would expect after you've appeared so many times for the club. Be a great hire. He's carved his coaching. He's dug his teeth into coaching at Al Sadd in Qatar. And apparently some Barcelona execs went there to woo him and say, your job immediately. Your job, Barcelona job, if you want it. Apparently Xavi, in the end, after thinking through, did not. And I'm recording this on a Sunday night. Ernesto Valverde might be out of work by Monday. And maybe not. He's been hanging over the precipice for some time. Maybe it's time. But I just want to say this to Barcelona. You have really shown your colors on the way you have handled the situation with Valverde. It is appalling to go and offer the job there and leave this guy in waiting. Fire the guy. Fire him. For Valverde, you would almost want him to go up and say, I resign. I'm not taking this anymore. He takes the blame for everything. Some of it is earned, but everything that's wrong with Barcelona is Ernesto Valverde's fault. A lot of people in the media, and I see you, I'm not going to mention names, but every time I hear you, it's Valverde's fault. It's not Messi. It's not Barcelona. It's not the defending. listen, the players have to shoulder some of the blame. And Barcelona has been in a bad way. Change will probably do them some good. But what they have done to Ernesto Valverde over the last few months is one of the worst handlings of a coach I've ever seen, whether he deserves it or not. To do that. Xavi, by the way, turned it down out of respect for Valverde. So hats off. Xavi is a class act. Would be a great coach down the road. And by the way, I would love to see a game where you have Xavi coaching Barcelona and Zidane, Real Madrid. That would be... But you kids out there wouldn't know because you didn't see them play. Kids. You pipe down, buddy. And then you have Simeone, who I say is one of the 10 best players of all time. Also on the sidelines there. So, I don't know. Everyone lay off Ernesto Valverde. Doesn't matter. He might be gone, and we won't hear from him. And he could probably get the last laugh. But Barcelona, to me, showed a lot why they are a dysfunctional team. And I don't think they're going to be there at the finish line when we get to the Champions League. Again, they've been heading the wrong direction since they won it with the super trio. Neymar, Suarez. Suarez out 4 months, so that's not going to make Ernesto Valverde do backflips or anyone else who takes him over. Barcelona's in trouble. Okay, so the big news around Major League Soccer, and again, recording this on Sunday night by the time, and what we're hearing is that Chicharito Hernandez on his way to Los Angeles is going to sign the papers and become the biggest signing since David Beckham. It really would be. Sebastian Giovinco, Carlos Vela, all these guys, nobody would drive what Chicharito can do. Will he be as productive as those guys? No, he won't because of how he's played. That's why he has to make this move now. He has to make this move now. People say he'll keep doing it, but he's not going to get $10 million if he is riding the bench in Sevilla. Because right now, he had really 2 lost seasons at West Ham. He can't beat Luc de Jong at Sevilla for that striker, so he resides on the bench. Luc de Jong is a nice player, but he's 29, not really an international caliber player, and he's beating Chicharito, Mexico's all-time leading scorer, in the pecking order. You also have Munir El Haddadi kind of pushing his way towards the starting 11 ahead of a guy like Chicharito, who plays a certain way. So it has to be now. And maybe I'll be vindicated, or we'll all be vindicated. It'd be a great move. He's probably the best move you could make for Major League Soccer. Yeah, I'm including Messi and Ronaldo, because Messi and Ronaldo, they'd be terrified of this league. They'd come down and go, what? And they won't complain and stuff. You got to have a guy who's ready to come in. I think Chicharito would be that guy. Come in ready to be part of the league. Spokesperson, sell jerseys everywhere. Illuminate this LA rivalry, El Tráfico, beyond belief with Vela and Chicharito. I can't wait. And this is a great move by Major League Soccer because I think if you can make headway in Mexico, get eyeballs, and also hopefully eventually win against Mexican teams in international competition, CONCACAF Champions League. I mean, that's that first domino to fall to get more exposure. Because if you get Mexico talking about your league, they're crazy about football down there. That can kind of push forward. And I think getting the big Mexican stars, and you have Vela, you have, if it happens, Chicharito, Jonathan Dos Santos, Alan Pulido's here now, Matias Almeida, who's Argentine but coached in Mexico. Mexican coaches coming here. It worked in Mexico. And it certainly is something that could affect here. He's not going to have the effect Zlatan will have. He won't score goals, but maybe he's a better team player than Zlatan. He's not going to sit there and wave his arms and draw attention to himself. You do have to work around him, but man, what a piece. It's perfect, and it's time. So, Chicharito, your agent and your manager, if they haven't said it already, do the move. I know he was against it, and if he doesn't do it now, it would be highly disappointing. And LA Galaxy, on all accounts, are really rolling out the red carpet and the Brinks truck, however you say Brinks, El Camión de Brinks, out there to get their guy. I think that's it. Marca reporting, and they've been wrong before, and now everyone's reporting that he's going to be in Monday and sign the papers. Sign the papers. Hey, Jimmy, 2 times. Let's go to England, where there was a lesson, again, of being resourceful and efficient. Manchester City defeated Aston Villa 6-1, and as a result, Manchester City has a better goal differential than Liverpool, plus 37 to plus 36. However, Liverpool have a 14-point lead in the Premier League. How does this happen? Well, Liverpool are showing that you've got to do it a certain way, and they are consistent in addition to efficient. 3 of their last 4 wins, and everything is a win at this point for them, have been 1-0. 1-0. They won the FIFA Club World Cup 1-0 over Flamengo. This is a result that is tried and true. But Liverpool's not a 1-0 team. They are very exciting to watch, but they have a ways about them. They can beat you up. But they get wins. It's just stunning. We've never seen anything quite like this. And that's why I think at the end of it all, we'll be talking about this team as one of the best ever. And we got a chance to see it. We talk about the great players that we've got to see in this generation. Now we get to see one of the great teams. There's no doubt about it. If they win the Premier League, maybe repeat in Champions League, start the chatter. It's something else I wanted to talk about in the Premier League. Sergio Aguero. So I'm going to give Liverpool their hats off. They beat Tottenham Hotspur. And by the way, Jose Mourinho, not working. Bad karma for Spurs after what they did to Mauricio Pochettino. It's not working. I know they have injuries. But the glow is over. Mr. 1-0 himself. But he can't get a 1-0 result for Tottenham Hotspur. He can't. I want to talk about Sergio Aguero, who scored a hat trick in that win and broke a couple records. He became the all-time non-British top goal scorer in the Premier League, passing Thierry Henry, and his 12th hat trick pushed ahead of Alan Shearer. An incredible record. And something I talk about a lot in the Premier League, and I've covered it, again, for a long time. You kids stay off my yard! Why aren't you kids in school? Punk. There wasn't about English players, South American players in England. You know, back then you had Ozzy Ardiles, and then there was a long era where there wasn't any, and then a few popped up. But there's some reason it didn't work in England. It still doesn't. You have Tino Asprilla, Edu maybe it has, Juan Pablo Angel at Aston Villa. These are names that also were told me when I brought it up on Twitter. Gabriel Heinze and Carlos Tevez, who I think was good in the Premier League. Not great like Sergio Aguero. The fact that he's done this where there's no track record of South American players or Argentine players, truly remarkable, and another reason why we have to hold him on a very high pedestal. He's 31 now. He's done it for a long time. He came to Manchester City at the age of 23, and he's done all this from Atletico Madrid. I think we really have to talk him about one of the best players right there with the big two. Because of what he's accomplished with his club. If he can win a European championship, that would obviously go a long way in fortifying that. But get back to the South American players. The South American players are the best players historically in Italy. When you think of a Gabriel Batistuta, when you think of Diego Simeone, all these guys, Brazilians and Uruguayans that excelled in that league in Italy and are heroic. Ruben Sosa of Uruguay. And then you have in Spain, Lionel Messi, Ronaldinho, guys that were the best that were South American, but not in England. They're European, maybe some African players, obviously some Brits. So I think we have to give Sergio Aguero a little credit here because stylistically it's not a fit, but he made it work. He has 177 Premier League goals, and I just wanted to share that Alan Shearer is still number 1 overall at 260, so no one's catching him. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Muy bien, Sergio. And Sergio Aguero, I called his first game on Fox Sports World when he was 15 years old, when he played for Independiente. But maybe you kids didn't see that because you were still, maybe you weren't even born yet. All right, I'll let that go. Do I have anything else to cover? Chicharito, Valverde, both of them. Me getting on a soapbox. We're good. Full time. Subscribe. A new channel's coming out soon, so pay attention. Tell your friends to subscribe. Let's get the numbers up. And they'll get an advertiser, and we can take this to a whole new level, mate. Another level.